You're watching CBS 8 Mornings at 5.
A local tie to the school shooting in Wisconsin this week. Good morning. Thanks for starting off your Thursday with us. I'm Eric Connert.
And I'm Neda Iranpour. Coming up live at 5, why a Carlsbad man is now accused of plotting a mass shooting with the Wisconsin shooter. Also at 5, a state of emergency here in California because of bird flu. The actions California is now taking to combat this disease.
Plus at 5, a rocky start to a record-breaking holiday travel season, why your flight may be delayed or canceled today. Developing here this morning, a 20-year-old man from Carlsbad is accused of plotting a mass shooting in conjunction with the teen girl who committed a deadly shooting at a school in Wisconsin this week. CBS 8 has obtained documents showing the man had been texting the girl.
CBS 8's David Gottfredson visited his home, where neighbors say more than a dozen officers were at that address and they seized evidence.
This is the gun violence restraining order served Tuesday night against 20-year-old Alexander Pfaffendorf at this condo in the 7400 block of Altiva Place in Carlsbad.
It sounds pretty wild and scary.
Neighbor Alex Gallegos was surprised by the number of officers that showed up.
I pulled in and they had their full guns out all over the street. There's cop cars. There's about 15 cops here, I'd say.
The gun violence restraining order alleges Pfaffendorf was, quote, plotting a mass shooting with the Madison, Wisconsin shooter, Natalie Samantha Rupnow. Pfaffendorf admitted to the FBI agents that he told Rupnow that he would arm himself with explosives and a gun and that he would target a government building. Rupnow is the 15-year-old girl accused of going on a mass shooting Monday at a school in Madison, Wisconsin, killing 2 and injuring 6 before she turned the gun on herself.
Well, I'm just glad that they were on top of it and, they're going to get to the bottom of it, hopefully, before something bad happened here in our county.
The gun violence restraining order served in Carlsbad is a civil action, not a criminal action, but it does allow officers to seize weapons, something the neighbor says he witnessed.
2 cops carrying out a big black, what I thought was a gun box.
I knocked on Pfaffendorf's door Wednesday, but there was no answer. The neighbor says officers were on scene here for 2 or 3 hours Tuesday night.
They were here for a while, things started to die down, and then I just saw them start laughing a little bit and giving each other high fives as it came to an end.
David Gottfredson, CBS 8.
Now, CBS 8 did reach out to Carlsbad Police and the FBI for comment. The FBI says the Madison Police Department is handling this investigation, and at this point, it does not appear that Pfaffendorf was arrested last night. He is not listed on jail logs here, either locally or federally in San Diego. This all comes as we are now learning the identities of the 2 people killed in that Wisconsin school shooting. 14-year-old Ruby Vergara was a 9th grader at that school, and 42-year-old Aaron West was a substitute coordinator. Meanwhile, we're learning more about the shooter, 15-year-old Natalie Rupnow. Her father had previously posted photos of her at a gun range last August, but we're not showing those photos. Court records also show she was an only child, and her parents had married and divorced each other at least twice while growing up. Around 2022, Rupnow was enrolled in therapy, but a motive is still under investigation for the shooting. Data shows female school shooters are rare. 1 of 544 incidents since the year 2013 have been female.
This morning, San Diego police are asking for your help identifying this man who sexually assaulted a girl at a trolley stop, according to investigators. Police say it happened 2 weeks ago on December 4th, just before 4 p.m. at the City College trolley stop on 11th Avenue. They say the man ran down the platform to get to the girl and dragged his hand and arm across her chest. Anyone with any information is asked to call police or Crime Stoppers at 888-580-8477. And a hearing will be held today on the release of the so-called bolder-than-most rapist. Sexually violent predator Alvin Quarles spent 25 years in prison after pleading guilty in 1989 to committing a string of rapes, robberies, and burglaries. Today, Liberty Healthcare, which operates the state's conditional release program, will discuss the options for his release. County Supervisor Jim Desmond is urging the judge to keep Quarles confined in a state hospital. In a letter, he says, quote, I ask the court to consider the immense risk posed to public safety and the significant impact on our community if Mr. Quarles is released as a transient or placed back into any residential area.
Also today, the man accused of using a sledgehammer to break into several businesses around San Diego County is expected back in court. 33-year-old Robert Coleman will be arraigned in the downtown courthouse on another 32 felony charges. This comes as he's already facing 12 counts of burglary and vandalism. He was arrested last week after 3 burglaries across the county. Police say license plate readers near the crime scenes led them to his car, where they then found a sledgehammer and a ski mask inside. 3 city residents have filed a lawsuit against the city of San Diego for violating an ordinance regulating the use of surveillance technology. The lawsuit claims the city used surveillance technologies without proper approval, violating what's called the Trust Ordinance. Last December, San Diego police started putting up those smart streetlights. On Tuesday, the San Diego City Council approved an expansion of the program, allowing for wider surveillance coverage using cameras and license plate readers. The police department will now be able to deploy these surveillance systems within a larger 2-block radius instead of being confined to a single location. And now, foggy conditions this morning, especially right by San Diego International Airport. They're having an impact on the holiday travel rush.
Yeah, tough timing for this morning. We are seeing a lot of delays and cancellations at the airport. Let's check in with CBS 8's Regina Yarita. They're live with what it looks like right now. That holiday rush is on here, Regina.
Yeah, guys, and the foggy conditions and low visibility has been impacting flights here at the San Diego International Airport. You're looking at a live look here at the departures board. A lot of yellow here. There's one cancellation from Austin that you're seeing on that board, but many travelers here have been here since overnight. I've been overhearing them that some of their flights have been changed almost 3 times. And of course, this comes at such a terrible timing, obviously, because this is today, starting today, the holiday rush starts until January 5th. So this is what we're looking at. Not probably the best way to start your holiday travel. I want to take a look at just some of the traveling that's happening here at the San Diego International Airport. If we can pan over to my right, because it's also chaos here, right? So many people here, so many people trying to check in their luggages, trying to get to the TSA line, and at the same time, they're looking at the departures board, seeing if their flight is either canceled or delayed. So that's what we're looking at this morning. Now, as mentioned, today, the busy travel period is what starts today through January 5th. San Diego International Airport expects to see as many as 1.3 million people arriving and departing during the upcoming winter holiday. Now, compared to the winter holiday travel period in 2023, the airport is forecasting a 4 to 5% increase this year in the number of travelers and a 6 to 7% increase compared to the winter holiday travel period in 2019. On top of the holiday travel rush, we have to remind travelers that construction is still happening outside of the San Diego International Airport because of the new Terminal 1 that's expected to open in 2025. So some of the tips that are strongly recommended right now is arrive early. If you can make parking reservations ahead of time and check your flight status consistently, especially as we're looking at these weather conditions at the moment. So back out here live, you're looking at another look just at the amount of people that are waiting to get their bags checked or to get into the TSA line. I'm sure you're looking at the line that's well outside of the entrance, and we're still seeing so many people coming in and so many others checking that departures board for their flights to see if it's either on time, delayed, or canceled. Again, not a good time to be having these weather conditions. What's even more frustrating is that because of fog, it's really just up to the fog and the weather to clear up eventually until you get that green light from the pilots or your airline that you are able to head out of the San Diego International Airport. But for now, I'll send it back to you.
Wow, 5:09, and it is that busy. I think of how early all those people had to wake up to get there. Okay, it is going to be very busy also out on the roads. AAA predicting more than 107 million people will drive between this Saturday and January 1st over the next couple weeks, about 2.5 million more from last year. INRIX expects the worst days of travel will be the weekends before Christmas and New Year's, with this Sunday being the busiest day. For today, the worst time to travel would be between 3 and 8 p.m. So try to go before or after that. Best time to hit the road will be before 11 a.m. So yeah, if you're up right now and you need to get somewhere, load up the car. This holiday season, gas prices are lower than last year. Right now here in San Diego, gas prices are about $4.45. That's about 31 cents less than from a year ago.
Today, the California Public Utilities Commission is hearing a new proposal to increase utility rates. This revised proposal would result in a smaller increase than a previous decision that was met with opposition from some city leaders. Under this new proposal, customers with natural gas hookups would pay about 1.8% more starting next year. The original proposal had those customers paying almost 9% more. Electric bills would increase 2.6%, which is essentially the same as the original proposal. SDG&E says that these increases would go toward wildfire mitigation, power grid upgrades, energy storage, and pipeline replacements. And your bill may go up even more due to a separate rate hike to keep California's only nuclear power plant going. Today, the CPUC is also voting on a plan to increase utility costs to support extended operations of Diablo Canyon Power Plant through 2025. The $723 million price tag would be split between Pacific Gas and Electric, SoCal Gas, and SDG&E customers. SDG&E customers would pay about 9.8% of the costs. PG&E operates Diablo Canyon. All right, here we are on a Thursday, getting a little closer to the weekend. Boy, those holiday lines there at the airport.
Yeah.
People get in what, Thursday off, Friday
Thursday
off, maybe
off.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Next week for the next
week and
2
a half.
weeks, maybe
Lucky
off.
ducks.
Yeah, right? Hey, we're here for you.
That's right.
Don't you worry. We got your information covered if you are traveling. And, you know, this morning, a lot of fog at the airport. But it's interesting. It seems to be only at the airport.
Right
so
there, where
it's
people
just
need to take
along
off.
the coast. Yeah, unfortunately for people who, you know, we're hoping to get there on time where you need to be, that is going to impact you this morning because the clouds are just sitting over the runways. It is 5:12. Let's get you caught up on your weather headlines today. Glad to say at least those Santa Ana winds have simmered down. Yesterday was the day where we had the stronger gusts early in the morning. I do want to point out what's going on with this Mount Soledad camera. So this would typically be our view of Mission Bay. Downtown is somewhere over there, and it shows that sliver of clouds and where it is through La Jolla, very foggy as well. So your weather headlines today do include that patchy fog, but mainly along parts of the coast. Inland, clear skies, you can see the moon, the stars, all of that. Weak offshore winds, then shift to onshore. We do start a cooling trend now through the weekend. It's not going to be as warm as yesterday. Look at this, the fog over downtown San Diego. That's it, right by the airport. That's where that weather station is. So we're at a 3rd mile visibility. Otay Mesa, a little bit lower visibility as well, but the rest of San Diego seems to be fine. You're waking up to 39 in Ramona, 46 in Poway, 51 degrees for downtown San Diego. This afternoon will be warm, just not as warm as we got yesterday. Places got up to 86 in Escondido and Vista. Some records were broken. Today, downtown, low 70s. Eric?